Jerry Lawler was on his Dinner with the King podcast talking about Howard Finkel. We haven't heard too much about the Fink. We haven't seen him obviously on TV. He hasn't been at WrestleMania the last couple of years. Maybe his voice was at some point, but he was not. And he mentioned on his podcast that Howard is in really, really bad shape health-wise right now. He said, I just heard not long ago that Howard is in really, really bad health. Not good at all. He may have had a stroke. I'm not sure, but I just know that he's not doing well. Kind of messed up to even say that if you don't know for sure that the man did have a stroke. I'm not sure why he would come out and say that. I don't know why he wouldn't just come out and say what he said at the beginning. The guy is in poor health, and just leave it there. Because he even admits he's not sure. But that's awful news. That's just terrible. Finkel is not someone who was typically like overly active on Twitter. He has a Twitter account. He would comment on there. He would tweet about WWE, but he would also tweet about the Mets. He's a huge Mets fan. Maybe the reason he hasn't commented, because he has not tweeted anything since Bruno Sammartino passed away in April. And here we are in July. And Howard has been radio silent on social media since then, which is very concerning. But then I see, he's a huge Mets fan, so perhaps he's just as depressed as the rest of us are about this team and just has nothing to say. But best wishes to the Fink. To me, there's never been a better ring announcer, probably in all of wrestling, but certainly in WWE. There's never been anybody better than him, who has that sort of big match, big fight feel to his match announcements. And he's the guy I grew up on, so obviously I have a certain, there's a certain nostalgia, I guess, involved there as well. But I think even somebody who didn't grow up on the guy, if you were to listen to Howard Finkel announce, big-time main events for a year and put him next to anyone else, I would find it impossible for them to come away from it not thinking that, hey, this guy's pretty good at this ring announcing thing. He was the best. And his run ended way earlier than it should have because I guess he no longer looked the part in their eyes, too old, whatever. His health has not been great for a while now. And I mentioned this on the podcast before, one of the saddest things that I've seen was him not being able to leave the ring on his own power at WrestleMania 32. After he did the Hall of Fame announcements in the ring, the place went dark. They probably went to the next video package or whatever. And I was watching the ring. And I don't know if it was just because he was that big, because his weight did very much get out of control, or if there was some other issue involved, but he needed to be helped out of the ring. It took several minutes to get him out of the ring. They had to help him out underneath the bottom rope just to sort of, roll him out of there. And I remember watching that, and I commented on it that night when we did the review, and I said, man, that was one of the saddest moments that I've ever seen at a WWE show. And that was a couple of years ago at this point, so best wishes to the Fink. I hope whatever it is that he's dealing with, he pulls out of it, and we get to see him back on TV in some capacity at some point and hear his voice again.